Hello crafty friends, it's Donna here, and I've got a set of 4 cards for you today that are quick and easy and so much fun to make. I've got 2 products today that have been sitting on my desk just waiting for me to get a little break in my studies so that I can use them. The first is this Inky Colour die cuts set. I hope that you can catch the embossing on these, it's really gorgeous. And I also have the Leafy Garden 3D embossing folder. This is so gorgeous. To start with, I'll run a few sheets of white cardstock through my die cutting machine, and then later on we'll mix it up with a bit of colour with this embossing folder. These die cuts just pop out. Mostly they're held in 3 places with a tiny little connection, and if you want to, you can just neaten up the cut with scissors. I find that mostly they come up fine, but every now and again there's just one that I want to make neater. And honestly, we've already got the basics for 4 great cards, but I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I've put them together for the cards that you saw at the beginning of this video. Firstly, I'm going to use some stitched rectangle frame dies to make a background frame and an inner frame for this card. Normally, I would add some card to the hole left in the middle of this frame so that the next layer would sit nice and flat. But honestly, with all of the 3D embossing texture there, and the fact that there's another frame around the outside, you can't notice any dip in that front, as well as the fact that these elements are now going to get popped up with some foam. It worked out just fine. You honestly cannot see even if you're looking. I'm using some little foam squares from Express-It today, and if they're too big, I just cut them in half. There's a really quirky YouTube channel that I love to watch called Karolina Zabrowska. One of the characters that she's created is Miss Tatternickel, and this image of the lady with the goggles and the hat reminded me so much of Miss Tatternickel that I definitely wanted to put her on a card. The sentiments are all from the Bright Days Ahead sentiments, by the way. And here's Miss Tatternickel enjoying my backyard. For the last card, I had some great shimmer cardstock in exactly the colour I needed. But I don't keep a lot in the way of orange cardstock. It's not one of my go-to colours, and so I'm going to create my own. I only want a border, and so I've just tested out a few Copic markers, and I'm using the blunt end to run a little border around my cardstock. It wasn't quite dark enough, so I'm going to double it up. And with that, I have a really minimalist, little clean and simple card. The recipe is almost identical to the last card, but I've kept it simple by using smaller images and just one colour. Speaking of colour, let's add some colour to our background. I'm using this nice Eastern Sky ink from Altenew to very lightly rub on my embossing folder. And then I'm going to use a blending brush to very, very lightly just even that out a little bit. It doesn't do the whole job, but it does make it more even. Once I've done that, I'm actually respreading the ink, and I'm going to run that through with another sheet of paper for a lighter version. And we'll use that lighter version first. It is subtle, certainly compared to the first one, but when you hold it up against the white cardstock, you can see the difference. And I'm going to use that as a beautiful leafy sky for my birds and birdhouse. You've seen me construct the card. I won't do that again on camera. Here's where I keep that pack of sentiments from the Bright Days Ahead set. It's a real jumble, but it keeps them all together. Remember that bright blue background panel? It was a little bit busy to use with the images on a whole background, and so I'm using this window to frame it up and to make the area of blue just a little bit smaller. I've got a bunch of butterflies and dragonflies and a nice thank you ticket shape for this final card. That's the final card for today. I hope you've enjoyed these fun but really, really easy to make cards and that you're having a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's your wish, and I'll be back soon with some more cards. Bye for now.